Hello, welcome to another ramble. I hope you guys are having the best day ever. It's my day off today, so I was just like, I'm just gonna stay in my bed all fucking day and chill, as I should, as you should. If you're not giving yourself the appropriate amount of rest, then I don't know. Maybe you should consider scheduling that in because that is so essential. The rest. I have mentioned in, I feel like I have mentioned many times over that in this current leg of my life, peace is definitely my priority. Have some of that. Let's cleanse our energy from the crazy mental frequencies of the world so that we can get clarity, so we can get peace, so we can live our best lives ever. Today's video is going to be kind of weird. Yesterday, well, actually, the past few days, I've been just receiving a lot of messages in the form of I don't know, media, in the form of people, in the form of nature, in the form of just sitting with myself. And oh my goodness, I don't know. I was unraveling religious constructs and just the way women and men relate to each other in general. I was just unraveling all of it. Yeah. So, well, I think a couple of current themes in my videos consist of peace being the priority. If you're not interested in peace, then you should just click off because if you like chaos, if you like drama, if you like conflict, then this is not for you. You know, you should just go off and do whatever you're doing because that will definitely, the world will definitely deliver you that stuff. Worldly things will deliver these things to you. When you want peace, you have to tap into the higher spheres of life, the higher regions of yourself. You know what I mean? That's what is required. A sacrifice is needed. And the sacrifice is just being in the world but not of it. But anyways, let's get started. This might rattle some people's I don't know, nerves, mental constructs, the foundational keystones that have kind of held all of these beliefs and storylines up for aeons. But this is what I got, really briefly, before I forget. First off, religion. If you're hip to it, you probably already know this stuff, guys. But religion, they've kind of force fed us mental constructs on believing in a person, a deity, an idol. You know, and what are idols? I mean, look at musicians can be idols, politicians can be idols. Anything that you revere and worship, anything that you want to be more like is an idol, right? Because you idolize them. Um, I don't know, man. It's definitely one of the greatest magician trick, distract you, start trying to emulate and be like and follow the blueprint of these people instead of fucking following your own blueprint. It's instead of trying to be more of yourself, you're trying to be like someone else. Also, the whole concept of heaven and hell. And what is hell? Hell is what do we think of when we think of the word hell? We think of demons and fire and brimstone and burning, eternal burning. Honestly, if I were to look back on my life, I've burned many times over, and it was necessary. It was like a purification kind of ritual that needed to occur, not literally speaking, but on a spiritual level. I needed to burn off all the impurities that I was carrying forth through my ancestors, through myself, through the world. I needed to burn these impurities off in order to become who I really am, in order to purify myself, and that's why, like, you know, a lot of times life will be challenging. It will deliver a lot of pain. And that's why I say turn pain into power. Use pain as the fuel to release a lot of the things that you are not, whether it be like I said, belief systems, the stories you've been believing, and that's why I say question everything. I'm like really grateful. Let's take a moment to be grateful. I'm really grateful for being skeptical, for being very curious and inquisitive, and I feel like those qualities in themselves have helped me to dig deeper, to the root of things. I didn't stop at the surface. I didn't stop and just like look at the leaves and the flowers and the fruit. No, 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 no. I went deep into the roots in order to like get these like insights. I didn't stop. My curiosity compelled me, and I turned the pain that everyone and everything and all the experiences put me through into power. Self-empowerment. Currently, I'm so like not interested in romantic relationships because those are distractions. Those are really like heavy distractions. And like since I was a child, I was force fed like the fairy tale stories, like, oh, I meet Prince Charming and right off into the sunset, the end. Yeah, no thanks. They left out a lot of details, important details, that if I had known then, I probably wouldn't have like prioritized such things. You know how like you lose yourself when you're romantically involved? Hey, as a disclaimer, my heart is still wide fucking open. Okay, I'm not I haven't closed my heart off, and I haven't become I don't know, resentful whatever person that hates the world. No, 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 no. In fact, the opposite has occurred. The opposite has occurred, yes. But yeah, I no longer prioritize romantic relationships because I've been giving so much of myself and losing myself in romantic relationships for so long. Um, I'm good. I'm going to give that to myself. I'm going to live my best life. I'm going to protect and manage my energy without sacrificing my well being for another person, which I've been doing for most of my life. I feel like you can relate to this. If you are a recovering people pleaser, yeah, I'm not going to do that anymore. I will show up for people who show up for me the same way. Everything else, I'm going to have to prune. Prune. And we are in the season of releasing. So let's release everything that no longer serves our well-being, our peace of mind, our the life that we want to create. Let's just release all these things. Take moments to release so you can make space to receive the things that you want. What kind of life do you want, guys? I don't know how many people think about this. What kind of life do you want? Do you take time to think about these things? A lot of people I ask, they're like, I don't know. I'm like, well, if you don't know, that's definitely a starting point. Start knowing. you know? But we're going to get into the heavy part now. I've been thinking about relationships. I've been thinking about romantic relationships, particularly. I've been thinking about marriage. I've been thinking about, I'm so glad. You see how the universe conspires to like help you succeed. So I currently am not married. I currently do not have children, and oh my goodness, I am not bound by these things. Although socially they've been wanting women to be bound to such things, you know? Yeah, and this might ruffle some feathers. I'm definitely not a feminist, but I've been coming across a surprising amount of women who are currently in the same frequency as me, and they've been leaving bad relationships. They've been leaving, connections where they feel like they've been taken for granted, they haven't been appreciated, they haven't, you know, all the investment that they put into this person, you know, has gone like into like a, I don't know, gone nowhere. And a lot of women are waking up to it, and they're finding their voices, they're finding the strength and the courage to break cycles and walk away, speak up, walk away, you know. um, it's really heavy, it's really deep, obviously. So socially and religiously, they've tricked women into entering such unions, in order to be subservient to husbands that are abusive, dismissive, um, I want to say unappreciative, who don't bring nearly as much to the table as a woman does. I mean, the woman has been sacrificing her energy, her time, her life, um, for what? For what? For what, guys? For what? Where's all the noblemen? Where's all the noblemen? Where's all the mature? Where's all the emotionally mature men? Because lately, all I see are little boys in adult bodies acting like dictators, acting like they should be the king, acting like, dude, act like a king. Don't act like a dictator. Grow up, rise to the occasion, show up, deliver. You know, like, I don't want to hear words, I don't want to hear apologies that aren't like followed up with like course correction. Okay, boring, just boring, guys. boring, boring. And that's why I'm just so not really I'm so not interested in romantic relationships anymore. I mean, all the things I've sacrificed for most of my life, all of the things I've done, all of the things that I've given, all my resources, my time, my energy, my attention, everything, I'm gonna give it to myself. No more sacrificing. No more sacrificing for another person who selfishly just, I want to say, siphons, selfishly siphons. Yeah. I've made it. I'm making it a point that anyone who doesn't show up for me the way I show up for them is going to get immediately cut. Free passes are null and void. No more free passes. No more. I'm no longer tolerating anything that does not serve the highest good of me, the others, and everyone involved. No longer tolerating it. No longer looking at potential. No longer waiting around. No longer recycling toxic experiences, toxic relationships. No, no, no. Oh yeah, cut. Immediately cut. No time for it, guys. No time for like lack of transparency. No time for like people who aren't being honest. You know, no time for people who are dumping their trauma on me. No, no, thank you. And oh, thank you. Moving forward, I could get deeper into this honestly, because it is really deep. It's a very, very deep topic. Um, but if you think about a woman is a portal. A woman is a bridge to the spiritual realm. You know, energy and motion, emotions. That's why we're so emotional. We're in tune, we're in touch with nature. You know, we are the portal. You know, and through sexual intercourse, like, men are siphoning our energy. Think about it. They're like plugging in and siphoning our energy. And if they don't have our best interests involved, they're just using us up. It's simple. I mean, look at how things have been going on for aeons, you know? Oh, I don't know. I guess I am being triggered because on an ancestral level, all the women in my line were abused in the most horrific ways. And a lot of like videos in my feed have been showing up things that I normally wouldn't look up, to remind me why I need to stand in power, you know, and no longer tolerate the intolerable. Um, No offense to the men that are doing the work, and no offense to the men who are showing up. No, this is not for them. This is not for the men that are like emotionally mature and showing up. Okay, this is for like women who have been involved in very toxic cycles with very toxic trauma bonded relationships with men. Okay, this is what this is for. But yeah. um and what is marriage? And that's why, like, the idea of marriage never really sat well with me. Like, once I started waking up, um, back in my 20s, I feel, you know, everybody's like, I want to get married, I want to get married. And in my 20s, I think it was like my early to mid 20s, I was just like, fuck marriage. Like, I don't see the point in it. You know, it's a document issued by the government. Also, religiously, I feel like they make it sound like, oh, you know, you're like merging with another person, but who's benefiting off of that? The man. Because a woman's willing to sacrifice too much, you know, and the man just feels entitled to that, you know, and I'm just like, no. Um, a lot of the men in my life, and I'm talking about like friends, a lot of them are really immature. Like, I've taken a step back, I have a clear vision, more clarity on what I'm looking at, and these men, like I said, they want to be kings, they want to be gods, but then they're not. They're acting like spoiled little children in adult bodies, and they're like ruling from a place of dictatorship where they feel entitled. No, thank you. No, thank you to that. Anyways, yeah. Like I said, this might ruffle feathers, but I have to speak my truth. I have to speak what I am currently seeing and feeling. And collectively, a lot of women are waking up to it, and we're saying no. No, thank you to that. I'd rather be alone, on my own, than like sacrifice more of my happiness, more of my life, more of my time, more of my resources, more of my energy for someone who doesn't even appreciate me, for someone who's not showing up in the same way that I'm showing up, you know, who's taking me for granted, who's dismissing my feelings, abusing me. You know, what is that? No, thank you. Moving forward, and moving higher, let's not invest in such negative experiences. If you learned something from this video, cool. If you didn't, that's cool too. Tomato, tomato. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're having the most beautiful day ever. Thank you for stopping by. Amen.